German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has called for a deepening of ties between the EU and Turkey on his first official visit to the country. Merz also hailed Ankara's purchase of Eurofighter jets as a boost to NATO security. But when the discussion turned to Gaza during a joint press conference, President Recep Tayipp Erdogan publicly chastised Germany for what he called Berlin's ignorance.
A ceremonial welcome for Chancellor Merz. This visit was billed as a friendly meeting of partners, a relationship that's been strained in recent years, now smoothed by pragmatism and realpolitik. With this first visit to Ankara, I want to convey this message. In the coming months and years, let us make even better use of the enormous potential of our relationship. Considering the momentum Turkey has gained in the defence industry, it's evident that we have extensive cooperation opportunities with Germany. Berlin has given its backing for NATO ally Turkey to acquire Eurofighter military planes. Merz linked the deal specifically to the conflict in Ukraine. Ankara is just as aware as Berlin that Russia's militant revisionism poses a threat to Euro-Atlantic security as a whole. Our common understanding is that these aircraft serve the collective security of the alliance. They increase the protection and security of all NATO allies. Earlier, Merz paid respects at the mausoleum of Turkey's founding father, Kemal Atatürk. The sense of mutual regard was there too when he spoke of Ankara's aim to join the European Union. Personally, I and my government see Turkey as a close ally of the European Union. We want to continue paving the way to Europe. There was one moment of open disagreement between the two leaders when they were asked about Gaza. While Merz said Israel had exercised self-defense when attacked by Hamas, Erdogan spoke of what he called genocide. Don't you, as Germany, follow this? By attacking Gaza, and not only attacking, they have always striven to inflict hunger and genocide on it. And this continues to this day. Despite differences, the relationship between Turkey and Germany has long been close. It's important, not least for the millions of people with Turkish roots who live in Germany. Both countries are hoping it could become closer still.
And for more on the inaugural trip of German Chancellor to Turkey, let's bring in our political correspondent, Giulia Saudelli. Giulia, good to see you. Chancellor Merz's meeting with the Turkish President Erdogan was supposed to reset ties that have been deeply strained. How did that work out?
Well, what we saw was a very pragmatic visit that tried to focus not on the differences between the two countries, but on what could bring their partnership closer on issues where they can work together. And that seems to have paid off. We saw especially Friedrich Merz showing that Germany is very interested and willing to work together with Turkey. He said that he would like to see a strengthening of the strategic partnership between the two countries. And he also said some things that are very likely to have pleased President Erdogan. He said that Germany supports Turkey's desire to join the EU. He said that Germany is in favor of Turkey also joining a defense initiative that involves European countries, but that is also open to countries outside of the EU, the SAFE program. And it is important for Turkey to see that Germany supports this because there is some opposition within the EU, especially coming from Greece. So an important signal there from Germany to Turkey. And these are all issues that the two wanted to focus on. Where we did see some big disagreement was during that press conference when the two were asked about Gaza. We saw Merz saying that Germany stands by Israel and that Israel used its right to self-defense. We saw Erdogan accuse Israel of starvation practices and of genocide. So clearly a disagreement there, but but it seems like the two leaders were willing to move along from those disagreements to actually look for more cooperation.
Yeah, despite the disagreements on Gaza and other things, Merz is still backing, as you mentioned, Turkey's EU bid. Why is Turkey so important to Germany, Giulia?
Well, Turkey is seen as a geopolitically strategic partner. It is very strong on defense, and it has also played a crucial role in the negotiations and in dealing with the war in Ukraine. So this is something that Germany values deeply. It is also a close connection between the two countries that is also due to the big Turkish diaspora that is present in Germany, but also to the close economic ties. Germany is Turkey's biggest trading partner, and this is also an aspect that the two countries want to strengthen. But there is also the EU-Turkey migration deal that was sealed in 2016 and brokered by former Chancellor Angela Merkel, where Turkey keeps Syrian refugees from coming to Europe in exchange for financial support. And this deal is still significant for Germany, especially at a time when debates on migration have picked up in the country and are being used by the far-right AfD party to stir up support.
Human rights groups wanted the German Chancellor to bring up Turkey's human rights violations and its crackdown specifically on the opposition movement. Did he publicly go there?
He did not. He did not do that, and this is something that obviously human rights groups are criticizing. He only hinted at the fact that some recent decisions by Turkey undermine its path towards EU accession, decisions on human rights and rule of law, but he did not explicitly mention, for example, Ekrem İmamoğlu, the mayor of Istanbul, who is a leading figure in the opposition. Many had hoped he would mention the fact that he has been arrested. He is in preemptive custody awaiting trial. And he is also now being criticized for this in Germany. We see that criticism coming from the opposition Greens, but also from members of his own coalition government in the Social Democratic Party. And this is obviously something that they see as very critical, that Merz did not address concerns on human rights and democracy in Turkey while he was there.
We'll leave it there. DW political correspondent Giulia Saudelli, thank you.